Hey everyone, welcome back to part 11 of my complete CD collection, and this is going to be the final part. So for those of you who've subscribed and watched all these videos, I just want to give you a thank you. And if you have not subscribed, please go hit the subscribe button. Not only will you support my channel, but you'll be able to get all the updates of every video I post. And since this is the final video of my complete CD collection, next video I'm going to be going into a ranking. I think I might rank Queen, their studio albums, because I haven't done that yet and I wanted to. Okay, so the last part I left off with part 10, and we ended up in the Z's. We went through the whole alphabet because everything behind me was in alphabetical order. Basically, it was rock, classic rock, metal, hard rock, even some, pop rock stuff. So, in punk was in there. So this stuff, we're going to go through the blues section, country, jazz, stuff I call the oldies, basically like spoken words, reggae, and compilations, soundtracks, things like that. I'm going to be sitting for this video, and no more sitting on the floor. And then we're going to finish off with the box set. So let's get right into it. We're going to start with the blues section. As you can see, I have everything stacked here to make it easier for me. First on the blues section, this is the Alligator Records 20th anniversary collection. Basically, a two disc, of all hits from the blues artists that were signed to Alligator Records. Then we have Buddy Guy. This is Damn Right I've Got the Blues. Great album by Buddy Guy. It's most critically acclaimed. Then we have a greatest hits from. This is called Buddy's Baddest. The best of Buddy Guy. Here we have Urban Blues by John Lee Hooker, 1967 release by John Lee there. Great album. Howlin' Wolf, this is a 2-on-1 with his self-titled album Howlin' Wolf and Moonin' in the Moonlight, excuse me. Here we have, this is the only one I own by Robert Johnson. I used to own the King of the Delta Blues Singers Volume 1 and 2, but now I just have this. This is basically all this stuff on one disc, although it's only 16 tracks. I do have to get the other two. King of the Delta Blues, this is called. Albert King with Stevie Ray Vaughan in session. Not with my Stevie Ray Vaughan CDs because technically it's Albert King featuring Stevie Ray Vaughan. That's why I keep it like that. B.B. King, Live at the Regal. Great album. Great live album by B.B. King. This is the very best of B.B. King Volume 1. This is released on Flair Records, subsidiary of Virgin Records. B.B. King, Live in San Quentin. This is a really good remaster from MCA. Here we have the Kenny Wayne Shepherd Band. Trouble is, his his biggest selling album had the huge hit Blue on Black, which is a big hit back in late 90s, I believe it was 1997. Best of Muddy Waters. Mick Jagger and Keith Richards are big fans of this. They grabbed this when it came out and was the inspiration behind the Rolling Stones. And then we had Muddy Waters, the anthology, 2-disc. This was in one of those big boxes, the double disc. I have it somewhere around here. But anyway, I squashed it down into 2 discs. I don't know what the hell I did with that. I have it somewhere in this room, hanging up. Anyway, now we're getting to the country section. I'm not a big country fan, but I do love old outlaw country. I'm not a fan of like the current country stuff. Ultimate Alabama, 20 #1 hits. Johnny Cash, Ring of Fire. Johnny Cash with the Orange Blossom Special. Another great live album at Folsom Prison. San Quentin. American Recordings, the first one he would do with Rick Rubin. We have Willie Nelson and Johnny Cash with VH1 Storytellers. This is a cool disc. And then this is my favorite by Johnny Cash. This is The Legend of Johnny Cash. Basically a best of the best greatest hits compilation. 21 tracks in here spanning his whole entire career. We have Patsy Cline, 12 greatest hits. Charlie Daniels Band, super hits. One of those cheap ones. I think I got this for like 50 cents. But it has all decent stuff on there that I need. John Denver's greatest hits. I guess he kind of borders on the line of folk pop and country, as Charlie Daniels borders on a line of country and southern rock. Here we have Merle Haggard and Willie Nelson. This is Pancho and Lefty. Merle Haggard, 40 #1 hits. Waylon Jennings, Greatest Hits. It's probably the newest country artist I have. Toby Keith with Unleashed. I always loved Courtesy the Red, White, and Blue. Such a great song by him. Here we have Willie Nelson, Redheaded Stranger. Willie Nelson with Stardust. This one by Willie, just called Songs. Basically kind of a greatest hits, best of. Hank Williams, 40 Greatest Hits, double disc. Amazing album by Hank there. Probably the essential country discs. There's 2 in there. Hank Williams Jr., this is live. This is pretty cool. He does covers of Southern rock songs. Stuff from Skinner, ZZ Top. Cover of House of the Rising Sun on here. And then we have Hank Williams Jr., 35 Biggest Hits, 2-disc set. And that's it for the country. My jazz selection is very small opposed to what it used to be. Basically the biggest, titles in jazz. I'm definitely going to expand upon this within the next couple months and maybe years. 20th Century Masters. I didn't think I had any more of these, but I do have the best of Louis Armstrong. Dave Brubeck Quartet, Take 5. Time Out, Take 5. John Coltrane, Blue Train. My favorite jazz album of all time, A Love Supreme. Miles Davis Quintet, Round About Midnight. This is the standard issue, not the remastered edition. My second favorite jazz album of all time, Kind of Blue. One of the greatest albums of all time, not just in jazz. And for Miles Davis, we got Sketches in Spain, another amazing album. And the final one I had, this is Miles Davis Quintet with John Coltrane live in St. Louis, 1956. Now, I saw this for a decent price. I knew it was kind of rare, but the sound on here is just not good. It's really shitty sound. It said on there an extremely rare, almost unknown live recording. Paul Chambers is on this on bass. And I grabbed it, but listening to it on the way home in the car, it's really terrible sound quality. But I guess it's something cool to have. Alright, we're going to get into what I call oldies. Basically, it's, the stuff from the 50s and 60s that's not really considered rock. As you'll see what I'm getting into. Dino, the Essential Dean Martin. I love this album. I love Dean Martin. Neil Sedaka. This is called the Definitive Collection. Frank Sinatra, September of My Years. And I feel like everyone has this in their collection. The Very Good Years, Sinatra Reprise. Here we have another Christmas CD, Christmas Songs by Sinatra. And 2 from Frankie Valli, The Four Seasons, Greatest Hits Volume 1 and Greatest Hits Volume 2. That's it with my oldies collection, although I always feel like music's timeless, then I want to call it oldies. Just the way that's subcategorized. Again, small reggae section. I'm not a big fan of reggae, although I love Bob Marley, I love Peter Tosh, so I just have the essentials right now, and as you can tell by what I show you about Bob Marley, there's a lot more I need to get again. Catch a Fire, great album by Bob Marley. I love that album. Live. Exodus, Time Magazine I think called this the album of the century for the 1900s. Of course I have Legend. Here we have Madashahu, Live at Stubbs, his first release. Really cool stuff on here. I'm a fan of this and Youth, but not really a fan of Madashahu after that. And we have Peter Tosh, Legalize It. Alright, now we're going to get into the soul section. Soul or R&B as you want to call it. Ray Charles Anthology. 4 Tops, 19 Greatest Hits. It's a Motown Records release. Marvin Gaye, What's Going On. Amazing album. Of course I gotta have Thriller. Everyone's got to own Thriller, especially with a CD collection like this. Prince, 1999. Again, Prince could be categorized as a rock artist. I mean, Prince is one of the artists that defined everything and just broke through every, category. Purple Rain soundtrack. Probably my favorite soul album of all time, even better than, even like this morning, What's Going On. Otis Blue, Otis Redding sings Soul. Amazing album. I remember getting that as a teenager. It just blew me away. Then I had The Dock of the Bay by Otis Redding. Such a cool shot there. Unfortunately, this came out after he passed away. This is the Ultimate Otis Redding. Something I grabbed cheap. Kind of greatest hits. Best of Sam and Dave. Stevie Wonder, but Talking Book. Inner Visions, amazing album. Fulfilling This is first finale. And again, that's all I have for soul. As you can tell, there's a lot more I gotta get, especially a lot more Stevie Wonder, like Songs in the Key of Life. Marvin Gaye, I'm not really a fan of him after what's going on. I like the 60s stuff, into the very, 1970, 71. But once he started doing Let's Get It On, even though it's a great album, I'm not a huge fan of that. The more love, kind of slow, dancey stuff. More the crooner stuff, Marvin Gaye. I'm more into the early Motown stuff by Marvin Gaye. And some stuff by Prince I gotta grab. I'm not a huge fan of Michael Jackson. I like Thriller, but after that I'm not a big fan of him. So yeah, as you can see, there's more reggae I need to get. Obviously a lot more jazz I need to get. I'm not the biggest country fan, so I'm not probably gonna get any more by them. But soul, there's a lot more stuff I gotta get. Alright, now we're getting to compilations. This is compilations and soundtracks kind of mixed together. Soundtrack from The Crow. I always love this CD. Soundtrack from Dumb and Dumber. It's just like a lot of cool 90s alternative stuff, and I've seen the movie so many times. In my opinion, it's the funniest movie of all time, especially if you've never seen it. Watch it for the first time, but I think at this point everyone's seen it. Dracula 2000 soundtrack, kind of a cool early 2000s new metal collection. The End of Days soundtrack. I remember buying this because there was a new Guns N' Roses song. It was like the first new song they would release in I think like 5 or 6 years. It's really not that good. It's called Oh My God. But again, it's got some new metal stuff on there like Guns N' Roses, Limp Bizkit, Korn, Rob Zombie, Power Man 5000. Some more new metal stuff. Family Values Tour 1999. Basically Limp Bizkit, Primus, Stained, Korn. And this is most famous for the version of Outside that Aaron Lewis from Stained did with Fred Durst that was all over the radio back in '99 and in 2000. Going South, pretty cool compilation of a bunch of just Southern rock bands, Southern rock songs, obviously. Hippie, music from the 60s generation, just 12 tracks, basically from the the Woodstock years, the late 60s. Pretty cool. Arlo Guthrie's on here, Iron Butterfly, Sweetwater, Grateful Dead, Canned Heat, Jefferson Airplane, Vanilla Fudge, Electric Prunes, and more, obviously. Hype, motion picture soundtrack. For those of you that aren't sure, Hype was a documentary film that was made in 1996, I believe, documenting the grunge rise of the early 90s. And it's released on Sub Pop Records. Features, who's who of grunge, like Soundgarden's on here, Mudhoney, Nirvana, Tad, The Jits, 7 Year Bitch, Pearl Jam, Fastbacks, Wipers, U-Men, Green River. It's all over the place, but it's basically a who's who of all the Seattle grunge scene. I Am Sam soundtrack. Basically, it's a bunch of artists covering the Beatles. Lollapalooza 92. This is actually a promo, I believe. Only 7 tracks on here. But I picked it up because it's a promo for Lollapalooza 92. Why not? Mission Impossible 3 soundtrack. Main reason I got this was for the Metallica song I Disappear. Foo Fighters cover of Have a Cigar is decent. It's about it on this. I'm not really a big fan of this. Besides those 2 tracks. Monster Madness. This is basically just an 80s, not really ballads, just 80s hair metal stuff. MTV, The Return of Rock soundtrack. This is Roadrunner Records release, basically all new metal stuff. This one I liked a lot when it came out. Ozfest Live, Second Stage Live, 2 discs. Was the first Ozfest tour disc CD that was released. Makes up the first disc. Makes up the second disc. Disc 1 is basically from the Ozfest 1999, the Ozfest 2000 tour. But it's the second stage, so basically they would put this out to get these bands like, at the time were unknown, Disturbed, Kitty, Queens of Stone Age, Taproot, and of course Ozzy's on it to round it out, even though he wasn't on the second stage. So basically it was to expose those bands back then. Ozfest 2001, the second millennium. This another great CD. I love this when it came out. Murder's coming out towards the end of the summer of 2001, so they really rushed this. It was all recorded live during June 9th and June 11th of 2001. Of course, you gotta have this if you have any soundtracks. Kind of a guilty pleasure for me. Saturday Night Fever soundtrack. Another new metal soundtrack, Scream 3. The lenticular cover there. Singles, obviously the film that put grunge on the map, made a commercial. Sub Pop 200, kind of a sampler, released by Sub Pop in I believe this is 89 or 1990. This is early. Again, a who's who of grunge artists like Tad, Nirvana's on here doing Spank Through, Mudhoney, Soundgarden, Green River, Fastbacks, Screaming Trees are on here. Okay, we got two more here. This is a dude, I own this VH1, the big 80s power ballads. I didn't even know I owned this, honestly. It's all what it says, power ballads. And finally, the Woodstock 94 double disc compilation there. And now we're gonna get right into the box sets. And I don't have that many box sets. This is Time Life Presents the 60s. It's a 4-disc set with a booklet. It's actually a 5-disc set with a booklet. You know, basically the greatest hits of the 60s, but it doesn't have stuff from the Beatles. I don't believe the Rolling Stones are on here. But everything else for the 60s is on there. It's a cool compilation there. And it goes by, like, you know, it's got the British invasion, Happy Together, People Gotta Be Free. See, it's the later 60s, you know, from the British invasion to the, you know, the Woodstock generation. Here we have Johnny Cash. This is called Love, God, and Murder. 3-disc set, separated by the titles Love, God, and Murder. Basically, you know, all his love tracks, his, you know, spiritual tracks, they're under God, and Murder, stuff like Folsom Prison Blues, Cocaine Blues, Long Black Veils on here, Don't Take Your Guns to Town, you know, basically like the outlaw stuff. Here we have Pearl Jam. This is Verse and Vitalogy Deluxe Edition, 3-disc set. Comes with Verse and Vitalogy remastered, along with a 3rd disc called Live to Orpheum Theater from April 12th to 1994. This is Journey, Time 3, or Cubed, however you want to say it. Basically just a run through of all the Journey stuff. Greatest hits, stuff before Steve Perry, I want to say Joe Perry. Live stuff, just a nice mixture on here. Nirvana with the Lights Out. 3-disc set with a DVD, making it up to 4th disc. Basically all unreleased tracks from Nirvana at the time. This came out in 2004, I believe. And here's kind of a bootleg. Pearl Jam Hallucinogenic Recipe, 5-disc set. Really cool. 1st disc is stuff from Mother Love Bones. 2nd disc is Green River demos, Stone Gossard demos. Disc 3 is Eddie Vedder's solo home demos. Disc 4 is outtakes from 10 sessions, along with the Verse outtakes. Let's see what else on here. Disc 5, Live at Las Vegas, 1993. Then we have Bonfire, AC/DC. Obviously, this is a tribute to Bon Scott. 3-disc set. Well, it's actually a 5-disc set altogether. Disc 1, Live from Atlantic Studios. Disc 2 is a 2-CD set, which is Let There Be Rock soundtrack, Live in Paris. Disc 3 is Volts. Basically, there's some unreleased songs, live tracks, and then disc 4 is Back in Black, which I don't think this should have contained Back in Black, because at this point I feel like if you're buying a box set from AC/DC, you almost already have Back in Black, but I guess they included it because it's their tribute to Bon Scott. Here we have Aerosmith, Pandora's Box, 3-disc set from their Columbia years of the 70s. Really cool collection here. I got it in a long box. But basically, it's there's some live stuff on here. Just stuff from their, you know, studio albums and a couple unreleased songs, but not that many. We have the Doors box set. Basically, they're all 3 tracks of unreleased stuff. First one's called Without a Safety Net. Alternate version, demos, live stuff. 2nd disc is a live show from Madison Square Garden, 1970. 3rd is called The Future Ain't What It Used to Be. Again, just live stuff and demos. And the 4th disc is called Band Favorites. Basically, kind of a greatest hits, picked by the 3 remaining members of the band at the time. Here we have Bob Dylan, the Bootleg Series, Volumes 1 and 3. Rare and unreleased, 3-disc set. This would kick off his Bootleg Series edition. This goes from 61 to 91. Really cool stuff on here. 2nd disc is my favorite because it captures the, you know, bringing it all back home through Blonde on Blonde era. And one of my favorite songs of all time is on here, Blind Willie Blind Willie McTell, which rounds out the third disc. Here you have, this one's just simply titled Jimi Hendrix Experience. 4 discs of all unreleased stuff from Hendrix at the time. But there is some live stuff I think that was previously released on here. But basically nothing really new on here, just unreleased versions of all his tracks. And the final one I have here is the Rolling Stones, the singles collection, the London years. So basically this is a stuff that was collected on 45s and not on their original English versions of their albums from the 60s. This is a 1989 release. This since has been remastered in kind of a digipack, but this is, you know, basically the same size as the vinyl. Comes with a full booklet. It features all the lyrics, all the songs on there. So everyone, that wraps up my complete CD collection series, all 11 parts. For those of you that stuck around and watched all 11 parts, I thank you very much. For those of you watching this for the first time, I suggest you go back to see the complete CD collection I have behind me. Sorry, I can't speak today. And again, please hit that subscribe button, like this video if you want to see more. Like, you know, sometimes I post my collection and stuff on Instagram. It's at Gary Elysiums, just like my channel, Gary Elysiums. Everyone, thanks for watching and have a good week.